Hello students, today we're going to look at some notes for section 1.1 called A Story of Two Substances. Chapter 1 is called An Introduction to Chemistry. Other sections we will be looking at will be section 1.2 Chemistry and Matter. Section 1.3 is called Scientific Methods. Section 1.4 will be called Scientific Research. As you listen to this video, look at the PowerPoint, copy down any notes you feel you need, make sure you get key terms, you get main ideas. And notes will be able to use on your chapter quizzes, so take good notes. Our objectives for section 1.1, you're going to need to know definition for substance. You're going to have to explain the formation and importance of ozone, and you're going to have to describe the development of chlorofluorocarbons. Review vocab, matter, anything that has mass and takes up space. You just want to make sure you get vocab written down. Main idea, that's a key thing you'd want to write down. Chemistry is the study of anything around us. As we go through, we'll come up with definitions for chemistry and substance. Some of this material you may have already written down as you've done Hummer notes or do Hummer notes. If you've already written it down and it's in Hummer notes, you don't necessarily need it here, but both the Hummer notes and these notes will be able to use on your quizzes again. You can also should read the section. You might find some more information you want to write down. Always better to write down a lot of information. So, why study chemistry? All the stuff in the universe is made from building blocks believed to be formed in stars. These building blocks and everything from them are called matter. We just seen the definition for matter. Chemistry, definition, very key point. Study of matter and the changes it undergoes. Make sure you know the definition of chemistry. Ozone layer, one of our layers of the atmosphere. From the sun, ultraviolet radiation is being emitted, and it's damaging to living organisms. In a later chapter, that would be chapter number 5, we'll spend time looking at the radiation coming from the sun. Now, Earth's atmosphere contains a layer of ozone that absorbs much of the ultraviolet radiation and helps protect living organisms. So, ozone, substance in the atmosphere made up of oxygen. Definition for a substance, very key thing. Know these definitions. Substance, also called a chemical, matter that has a definite composition. Earth's atmosphere has several layers. Ozone is in the stratosphere. Here you'll see layers of the Earth: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. Ozone in the stratosphere formed when oxygen gas exposed to ultraviolet gas. So we got oxygen gas, which is O2. Ultraviolet radiation hits the oxygen gas and it causes ozone, which is O3, to be formed. And for every 3 molecules of O2, we're going to get 2 molecules of O3. Which we'll learn later or in the year, called balancing chemical equations. What happens is the ultraviolet radiation causes a oxygen atom or oxygen molecule to break apart into oxygen atoms, and then that oxygen atom combines with another oxygen molecule to make ozone. So ozone been studied by scientists since the late 1800s, forms over the equator and flows up towards the poles. So by looking at ozone, we can help also follow the flow of air in the stratosphere. In the mid-1980s, scientists detected thin areas of the ozone over Antarctica, and they came up with a question: what might be causing this? And here's a chart. Just see a better version of it, or the complete. This is page 7 in your textbook. It can be causing the ozone hole. So, back in the 1920s, large-scale production of refrigerators began using ammonia as a coolant. Ammonia, a nasty smelling thing. It would leak, and also a little toxic, so when it would leak, it would be dangerous. So in also late 1920s, 1928, a guy named Midgley synthesized some chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbon, made up of chlorine, fluorine, and carbon. And these compounds are man-made, meaning they do not occur naturally. They're non-toxic and they're stable, do not readily react. So it looked like they could be ideal to use in refrigerators and air conditioning units. Also end up being used in plastic foams and propellants and spray cans. So it started to become very, very widely used, and there's a whole bunch of different types of CFCs. And in the 1970s, scientists started detecting CFCs in the atmosphere, and they kept increasing on up to the 1990s. You can see that on this graph here, which is on page 8 in your textbook. So they wondered, could there be a connection between the ozone thinning and the increasing of CFCs in the atmosphere? This is just a very typical question scientists would ask. Is there a connection between these two things? A couple quick review questions. As you all know, all the stuff in the universe is made up of matter. Which of the following protects living organisms from harmful ultraviolet radiation and ozone? So that's brief look at notes for section 1.1. Again, read it in textbook. probably can find a few more things you could add. But that's all we have for now. Till next time, this is Stripe.